Hello, class, and welcome to History 305, History 1 from Apostles to Reformers. In this video, I am going to just go over some basics of the class. I'm going to try to keep it real quick. I'll talk a little bit about the syllabus, the Moodle page, your books, introduce myself, all that fun stuff before we dive into the class. So, first and foremost, hello, I am Dr. Jennifer Horniak-Wojciechowski. Pretty much all students call me Dr. W because my last name is quite a bit, and to both spell and say, and I know that. So feel free to call me that. A little bit about myself. I teach church history here at Luther. I teach this class. I teach history too. I teach some different electives, one on women's history, one on kind of politics, one on American theology. Here I have a picture. I'm married. I live in St. Anthony Village, which is pretty close by to the seminary. And I'm married. I have a couple kids. Here's a couple pictures up of them and my cat in a banjo case. So you get to know me a little bit. All right. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm always available to you. All right. I am not going to read the syllabus to you. You can do that on your own time, but I do want to highlight a few things for you as we get started here. First is I have office hours, both on Zoom and in person. Tuesday mornings for the Zoom ones, 9:30 to 10, in person from 10 to 10:45, and then of course by appointment if those do not work. I'm usually available. All right. I know the outcomes, you can read through all that. The books I want to talk a little bit about because you might have some questions about what's going on here, why you have these three big books. So let me explain the difference. The Coakley and Stirk is a compilation of primary source documents, okay? Students usually really like this. This removes a layer of biases. You can dive into the text. And so there's a lot of fun stuff in here. Pretty much every week we have kind of secondary readings from your main textbooks, and then you have these primary source documents that supplement it. So that brings me to, you have both the Irving and Sundquist book and the Gonzalez book. All right, so why did I give you two textbooks? Because if you put them together, you almost get a perfect textbook. Let me explain why. All right, so the Gonzalez. Students usually really like this book. Gonzalez is a historian, of theology, and so he does just an incredible job of summing up theological concepts very succinctly. And his writing's pretty accessible. Okay, students usually find this to be the easier book, but he does focus primarily on the West. So the Irving and Sundquist does a fabulous job looking at global Christianity. Okay, so we are kind of in both books going back and forth through the semester. I personally actually like this one better. But as I said, students usually like the Gonzalez. They're both very good, solid textbooks, okay? So class format, as you know, this is an asynchronous course, though I do have optional Zoom meetups weekly on Fridays from 9 to 9:45. They are not required. They don't change your grade at all. But sometimes students find it really helpful to have a space where they can come and talk to me, ask me questions, and talk to each other. So it's just kind of a free time to come as you are able. All right. And then let me at least point out some of the assignments, and as we go through the semester I'll get you more information, but you have descriptions of every assignment already in the syllabus. You have an intro essay which is due pretty quickly. Do not stress about this. It is a very casual, just tell me about yourself, okay? Just so I can get to know you better. I think it helps me be a better teacher. And then you have 2 essays and then a final quiz. And then because this is asynchronous, we have some Moodle discussion posts. All right, and so your essay number 1 is on a document. where you're going to dive into a primary text, where your second essay is diving into one significant Christian figure. All right, so as you go through the class, you can start thinking about like, all right, here's a source I really want to write about, here's a person I'm really interested in, so just keep those in mind as we go. And then I have some information on the online discussion, kind of a helpful grid perhaps for you, just general guidelines to remember to be respectful, and tone is hard to convey in text, so just try to be clear, and all that. I have some netiquette. And then when you go into the schedule, everything is really laid out for you, okay? It tells you exactly what we're doing every week. If there's any assignments, it'll tell you. It even gives you what discussion questions you have for the Moodle discussion posts, okay? So the syllabus should be pretty self-explanatory, but please let me know if you do have questions. I respond to emails within 24 hours, except for maybe on Sundays, but in general, I respond very, very quickly to emails. All right, so that brings me to the Moodle page then. If up on top, I always have some, the syllabus, and then Zoom links to the meetups and my office hours, okay? So I always email them out on Mondays as well. Every Monday, expect to get an email from me, and in this you will get just a reminder of any assignments, any announcements, any news, and then you'll get these links again, but they're here for you as well. I want to make sure you always know where they are, okay? And then as we go through the course, if there's any resources, like I already have some maps up, some summaries, things like that. And then each week, you will go to the Moodle section here, and I try to make it as clear as possible. We have the topic, your readings listed here, any sort of assignments you have, and then videos or readings, things like that. So this video that I'm making right now will pop in here as video number 1 for the week. And then the name of the video, what it is, if it's my video or if it's an external video, I'll indicate it on there, and then the length. I always try to keep my videos under 15 minutes. It'll be a rare occasion if they ever go over. And then I also want to highlight here, this is something I do in like all my online classes. I'll have optional things that aren't on the syllabus, but they're things that I think maybe you'll find interesting. So like for week 1, I have a little, it's actually pretty short. Why isn't the Gospel of Thomas included in the Bible by Professor Skinner? I think it's kind of interesting. Maybe you'll think it's interesting too. It's not required. It is optional. So those will always be labeled as such. Otherwise, besides the videos, which I'm still making, the whole Moodle page is up and going. I think it's pretty clear. But again, if you have questions, let me know. All right, I said this was going to be brief, so I'm going to end it here. But if you have questions, let me know. Otherwise, I deal more with kind of course content and overview of the course in the next video. This is just more the housekeeping items of Moodle page and syllabus. All right, I'm really looking forward to spending this semester with all of you and getting to know all of you. So if you have any questions or just want to chat, let me know. All right, thanks everybody. Bye.